YouTube! What's up everybody, Doomwake here, and welcome to another video on the channel. We are going to be discussing week 1 of March of the Machine spoilers. I know you probably haven't had enough spoiler season over the past couple of months, so Wizards decided to give us more. This set looks awesome so far. We're only on essentially what is day 1 of official spoilers, and there's a lot of cards from this set that really could make a splash on both, probably not modern, but definitely Pioneer and definitely Standard. What I did is on stream we discussed some of the ones that were just spoiled today, recording Wednesday. What's today? The 29th of March? Yeah, sounds about right. And yeah, I just wanted to make a clip of all the cards that we talked about, the ones that I am the most excited for. I want to hear from you. What is the card that you are most excited for from the recent spoilers? What are you looking forward to in March of the Machines? And without further ado, let's get started. Archpriest of Shadows. I'm just going to do it this way. 5 mana, 4/4, backup 1. Alright, let's read backup. When this creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. If that's another creature, it gains the following abilities until end of turn. DJ, run that shit back. When this creature enters the battlefield, put a counter on target creature. If that's another creature, so not itself, it just gains the rest of the abilities. So it would be Death Touch whenever it deals combat damage to a player. Oh, I see. Wait, this is actually kind of cool, because, like, if you have, let's say you have, like, a flyer in play, the turn you cast this, you go play it, put a counter on the flyer, and then hit them with the flyer and get a creature back, right? Am I understanding that correctly? I mean, it is 5 mana for a 4/4, but it's interesting. It's definitely got some potential. I mean, you have to like do a little bit of work to get a creature in the graveyard. But I'm like, I always think big with things like this when you're reanimating stuff like Atraxa or Titan of Industry, probably Atraxa. So if you can put it, I guess it's a lot of work, right? You have to put the Atraxa in the graveyard and then also have a creature that has some evasive ability and can hit them the turn you play this thing. So yeah, maybe it requires too much setup and you're better off just playing like Transmogrify or something like that, so, or Luca. Oh, remember how we were talking about over the past couple of weeks the Venerated Rotpriest deck in Pioneer, and you had Rotpriest in Finale to get Rotpriest? You now have another way to get Rotpriest. Just saying. So that might be kind of interesting. Basically, XGG, ETB search for a graveyard, library and or graveyard, which is important, for a non-human creature card put onto the battlefield. If you search library this way, shuffle, and then it flips into an 8/8 reach. For each non-human creature you control, you may have the creature assign its combat damage as though it weren't blocked. Cool card. But I don't even really care about the backside of this card. The only thing I care about this, at least from like a Pioneer perspective, is the fact that it finds Venerated Rotpriest. That's all I care about. So yeah, Haran had mentioned that to me in Discord, so I don't know what to think about this card. This one's weird. The brain was turning a little bit with this. Like, I'm wondering if the best spot to cast this is for X equals 0. Because you can just, like, play a 1-drop on turn 1, play this for 0, and immediately get in 2 damage. Like, get 2 damage off of the defense. So I think that is probably the potential, like, best case scenario for this card. But the issue with that is then you're also taking turn 2 off. Yeah. It's a good top deck late too. It's like a good mana sink. If you're playing an aggressive Knights deck with like History of Benalian, there's maybe some other Knights payoff. But like in my head, the way that I look at this card is I'm just trying to flip it as fast as possible. And the way to do that is play a pile of 1-drops, you know, this on turn 2. But, like, even if you flip it, I think the quickest you can flip it in that scenario is turn 4, assuming your draw lines up perfectly. And even on turn 4, it's like, you get a 4 Planeswalker Loyalty where, you know, you draw... I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. I saw Jabber talk about this on Twitter. This card is, I think, just, like, a much, much better version of Lay Down Arms. Card sucks balls. It kills creature lands. It's also instant, you know what I mean? Doesn't kill Greasefang. Yeah, well, neither does Laydown Arms. Laydown Arms is a sorcery. Like, it's you know. I think the only thing that this doesn't kill that Laydown kills is Shieldred. That's the most important part, but yeah, it does exile, but I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it in a different context. I don't know. I could see it. Also, the upside of replacing Laydown Arms in Pioneer Blue White is the fact that you get to play with real lands. You don't have to play a bunch of like prairie streams and irrigated farmlands. You just get to play a real mana base with good utility lands. That's the biggest problem with Laydown Arms. Not the card itself, it's the fact that it warps your mana so much. Polukranos Reborn. Actually, probably a good card for Pioneer. So, GGG, very important for everybody's favorite deck in Pioneer, Mono Green Devotion, 4/5 reach, and 6 and a Phyrexian mana transform it. So, relatively easy to get to 6 mana in your Mono Green Devotion deck. Flips into 6/6, reach, lifelink, pretty good stats, and when it or another non-token Hydra you control dies, make a 3/3 reach and a 3/3 lifelink. So it's similar to like Wormcoil Engine in that regard. It's basically like Polukranos and Wormcoil, just kind of like stapled together. Well, the one thing that I will mention about taking the Lovestruck Beast spot entirely is this is legendary. So, yes, 4/5 reach is, I think, a much better body than a 4/4 trample. But the problem is it's legendary, so it's a lot worse in multiples. Now, that being said, if you have enough mana, you can flip the first one and then play a second one, so it's maybe not that bad. Wait, I have a question. So, if I play Polukranos, flip it, right? Then play a second Polukranos, and flip the second one. The legend rule, keep the first one. I get 4 3/3s, right? Because you're getting 2 off of... Yeah, you get 4, because it counts itself. Huh. Okay. That's pretty interesting, then. Maybe it is better than Troll, then. I don't know, the trample on Troll is pretty relevant in a lot of spots. I think this card is crazy. I know 4 mana, 3/5, but I think this card is sick. I don't know what anybody else thinks about it. So it's 3/5 Vigilance. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control, they lose 2 life unless they pay 1, so that's a medium ability. 3 mana, sacrifice 3 other creatures, exile it, and flip it. So it's like good with tokens. So you like make a bunch of tokens, you can pay 3, flip it. Then, the first chapter of the flip side is incubate 2 5 times, then transform all incubator tokens you control. So it just makes 5 2/2s. Just straight up, makes 5 2/2s. Second chapter, creatures you control get +1/+1 and double strike until end of turn. Kind of good when you just made 5 2/2s. And then third chapter is destroy all other permanents except for artifacts, lands, and Phyrexians, and then you get it back on the Elesh Norn side. I don't know. I think it's really good. What does chat think about this card? It is a lot of mana, that is true. Like, I'm thinking of this as like a play. I'm thinking of this, and maybe this is crazy, I'm thinking of this as a 7-drop, where you already have the tokens in play, you're playing it, and you're flipping it immediately. Now, 7-drop, I know, expensive, but maybe like Mono White Devotion? Mono White Nykthos? Invasion of Tarkir. Okay, 2-mana battle. I like 2-mana battles. 2 mana, 5 defense. When it enters the battlefield, reveal any number of dragon cards from your hand. When you do, deals X plus 2 damage to any other target, where X is the number of cards revealed this way. Okay, so even if you revealed nothing, it's still a shock. So 2 mana, kill a creature, and then 5 defense. And then it flips into a 4/4 flying trample. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, it deals 2 damage to any target. I mean, there is some dragon support in Pioneer. Right, you have, like, I'm trying to think. You have Thunderbreak Regent, Glorybringer. Is there any 3-mana dragons? Any 3-mana dragons that are remotely playable? Oh, wait, Shivan Devastator. right? Sprite Dragon too. Yeah, X can be 0, right? Yeah, it says X can be 0. Not flipping us on turn 5. I mean, you might. That's sushi. Well, I want 3 mana dragons. So it's like Shivan Devastator and Sprite Dragon are really like the cheapest ones. Shivan Devastator is a dragon, right? I'm hoping it is. Card Shivan Dev. Yeah, it's a dragon. Okay. Okay, that could be cool. You could play Sarkhan too, the 3 mana Sarkhan. Okay. All right, we're cooking with something. I mean, there's maybe something there. This card has potential, I think. Chrome Host Seed Shark. 3 mana, 2/4 flyer. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, incubate X, where X is that spell's made. This is just Shark Typhoon. But it's a 3 mana, 2/4 flyer. Is this card crazy? I mean, maybe it's not crazy. It seems good, though. I don't know if it's secretly busted. I think this card's nuts. This is probably the best card we've seen so far. You do have to pay to get the sharks, but it's kind of nutso with Treasure Cruise. Like, specifically the Delve cards in Pioneer. I know you have to pay too, but I kind of like it. Like, imagine this on 3, and imagine this on 3, and then you go turn 4, pieces into Cruise, and then next turn you just, like, pay 4, activate them both, attack for 12. I don't know. Could be interesting, but... Transform at instant speed. Yeah, you can transform at instant speed. I think it's good.